Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor, as usual, to greet you and always bringing this message of emancipation to you. A message whereby I'm pointing you to look no other place but to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That's the reason why I want to speak to you concerning how Abdullah taught Neville Goddard not to chase after money. Now, just before I go into what I want to speak to you about, I just want to remind you concerning the 66 books of magic, the Overcomer's Bible, that is dedicated to Abdullah and Neville Goddard. It's available on Amazon in ebook form, both the Old and New Testament, and also the New Testament is already available in hard copy on Amazon, and one of the Old Testament. Also, there's another Old Testament that would be available also, because I had to split the Old Testament in two. Okay, so don't forget to pick up a copy of the 66 books of magic, and let me mention that it has no Jesus in the New Testament. Where there used to be Jesus, there is a blank space for you to fill in your name, because it's all about you. You're the one who will experience the Christ. Unfortunately, many people who look like me will think that is blasphemy, because they believe in the idol that was given to them outside of themselves that doesn't look like them. But we've been made in the image and likeness of God, and everyone have the right to claim the Bible as their spiritual autobiography. So it doesn't belong to any one race or people. It belongs to everyone. Okay? So because it is everyone that will have the experience of discovering the higher self. Now let me go into the topic, but let me just remind you to check the link below for the information concerning the book. And also, let me just say this in the meantime, that if you would like to support this work in any way, that you can support through Patreon. We have a Patreon, and the link is down below also, or you can support by way of PayPal also. So I want to just thank you in advance. Okay? Now, as I would have said before, Abdullah taught Neville Goddard not to chase after money. And the reason why I can say that is that Neville tells of his experience where he used to work at different places. I think he once worked with, I think it's JCPenney or one of those places. I'm sorry for correction, okay? But he worked different places before, and he was a dancer also. And he was going after these things to make a living. And that is the lifestyle of most people in the world. We've been taught to go to school and get good grades, and then come out into the rat race and compete to see who can make more money or who can get a better job. So actually we've been taught to chase after money. Because in school they rob us of our mental faculties, such as our will, our perception, our reasoning, our memory, our intuition, our imagination. They rob us of all of these faculties that we're born in this world with, and make us become dependent on education, and so get caught up in chasing after the getting instead of the being. But Abdullah taught Neville Goddard how to understand that the kingdom of God is within himself, and how to understand that if he seeks first to discover the kingdom of God and his righteousness, teaching him that righteousness is a discovery, it's a realization, it's not something you try to attain. And he taught him that whenever he finds the kingdom within himself through seeking, not believing, seeking, that he must be a seeker and not just a believer. That whenever he found this treasure in himself, he will also have found the secret of creation, and that he will be able to create his reality consciously, and that he will no longer need to chase after money. He will now have money chasing after him, because he has discovered the secret to his creativity, the secret to unveil his ability to uplift and bring value to humanity. So my brothers and my sisters, we're living in a world today where many are selling a lifestyle, showing people how much Lamborghini they have, showing people their mansion, while they're using all the principles that Abdullah would have taught Neville Goddard. And even Neville in a lecture says that many of the ministers would take what he would have taught and put it in their own way to widen their scope. In other words, just to fleece the sheep, just for $1. But we are here to say that the most important thing is to know who you are. For our ancestors would have always taught that man must know himself. Know thyself. So self-knowledge, self-realization, self-revelation is more important than money. Which is to say that wisdom is more important than wealth, because wisdom will teach you how to obtain the wealth or the riches, and it will make you a more happy and fulfilled being in this life. It will bring you into a golden age. That's why you're told that Solomon seek first wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Then he had leadership, and then he could have bring into place a golden life. No, a golden age, I mean. Now when we have control over our life by understanding how the mind works, we become more responsible for our thoughts, and we will realize that our true currency is our thoughts. So you are money. And when you realize that you are money, you realize your true currency, and then you dwell upon that cosmic currency to create your reality consciously. So Neville, when he finds himself studying with Abdullah, and he would have only known the theory, he still didn't understand the concept or the real concept of how to earn money. But Abdullah uses imagination on Neville's behalf, so that he'll be able to put him in a place of affluence. So he uses his imagination on behalf to get a trip to Barbados in a time of Great Depression, in a time when Neville was unemployed and he didn't even have one good suit. And so Abdullah, when he would have done this imaginal act on the behalf of Neville Goddard, he did it so that he would travel first class. So he would realize the magnitude of the imaginal act, or the magnitude of the miracle, the magnitude of the magic. So he would realize that he have a magical self, which is the self within, that he must look to, which is his real currency. So Neville had this burning desire to travel to Barbados. teaching us that when we have a burning desire, that it is a spiritual sensation. And when we become occupied with that which we so desire, it will bring an impregnation. And that impregnation, when we persist in it, it will give us that manifestation. So it's teaching us right there also that everything is sacred energy exchange, which many people refer to as SEX. And that is why when you really understand that, you will realize how misled many are when they speak about retention. Because you have to realize everything have to release. The trees have to release all the oxygen to us. Our survival depends on something releasing. And then we release back. It's all a great exchange. So here, as I was saying, Abdullah taught Neville what the Bible really means when it says, come and buy milk and wine, come and buy honey without money. When Abdullah told him that he was going to Barbados and that he was going to go to Barbados first class and teach him how to sleep in his mother's home in Barbados while he was residing in New York, and how to walk the streets of New York with all those high-rise buildings and skyscrapers, but yet seeing himself walking Palm Street and so on. In Barbados, when the tallest building in Barbados would have been like a 2-story or 3-story building. Because I live in the Caribbean and I know in the Caribbean islands, most of the buildings are 2-3 story tall. Okay? And so Neville had to have a vivid imagination and walk in that vivid imagination to activate his true currency. And then when the prophecy was fulfilled, and there was money on his door in a letter from his brother, then he understands how he can acquire whatever he wants without money, because we are told that we're living in a world that you cannot achieve or get anything without money. But you come to realize that there is a power that is greater than money, and that power can attract money, and that power is his real currency. Then you come to understand also that we are electrical and magnetic beings. But when you look deeper into what would have taken place with Neville Goddard and Abdullah, you realize that Abdullah was teaching him concerning the chakras and how to balance his chakras and how to activate that power, because that kind of power was known by our ancestors and it is hidden in the Bible, and Abdullah knew that it was hidden in the Bible. But for people to understand it, they have to understand that the Bible addresses the human mind and that it must be interpreted psychologically, that it is not literal, neither is it secular history, and that it has no reference to anyone that existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. Abdullah knew that from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22, it's all a great psychological drama. For thoughts become things, and we become what we think about most of the time. So he taught Neville that there's a power that is greater than money, so therefore he doesn't need to chase after money. Now, when you think of it more deeply, you will understand why in these parts that I'm living, especially that they refer to as third world country, why most of the children leave school with an employee mentality, especially in my country, and most of the employers in the city, they are not people from here, and they're not even the people of their own race. So they've been enslaved even in their own country because they're still chasing after money. And those are the ones who turn around and they will tell you that I am crazy. When I say that imagination creates reality and that you can create your reality consciously, and that Jesus is a literal man 2,000 years ago with special powers, that he never exists. That it's all about your imagination, the creator in everyone. For in St. John 1, she states that all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. That him is not a man 2,000 years ago. That him is just a personification of the human imagination, teaching you that everything that has ever been made, it was first imagined. And everything else that would ever going to be made, it must first be imagined. It must first be a thought. It must first be an idea. That's why, my brother and my sisters, if you're listening to me at this time, let me say this to you. Do not chase after money. Abdullah never taught Neville Goddard to fill the people's mind with the law of attraction. He teaches the message of self-realization. And when he learned the message of self-realization, then he could have activated every law, including the law of attraction. Because what they call in the law of attraction is what Abdullah called the law. He taught Neville the law, and later on Neville experienced the promise. And I was fortunate enough, blessed enough to receive the promise first. Before I ever tried to use my imagination to create anything, I received the promise. And that's what means the most to me. And that is why the best feeling I can have is to not bless someone's heart with this message of self-realization. Just to point someone to look inwardly means so much to me than any amount of money. As long as you look inward, then you learn to believe in yourself and you trust God to be your own human imagination. You realize that you're a spirit having a human experience, and you realize that your real identity is your divinity. That's your real currency. Because you will feel more better about yourself, and you will activate the right energy, because the energy of love is the most powerful energy. And that is why you'll be more conscious of your thoughts, because you will realize that it is your own thought that is creating your reality and your personality. So my brothers and my sisters, Abdullah taught Neville Goddard never in his life again to chase after money. And never again in Neville's life was he ever broke. I'm teaching you how never to be broke again in your life by saying to you, stop chasing after money. Get to know who you are. Discover your higher self. Discover your Christ self. Soar like an eagle and come to the high state of consciousness. And when you manifest your reality in this world consciously, you wouldn't need the material things that you manifest to keep you happy, because you are already happy. You're going to use your happiness to bring you success. That's why I wrote a book called Your Mood is Your Fortune. If you've never read that book before, I encourage you to go on Amazon and get that book. Your mood is your fortune. It is so simple. Your mood is your fortune. Your heart is the seat of your emotion. And emotion is energy in motion. I can go much deeper and show you what I'm saying to you. That I'm teaching you the secret of your treasure. I'm teaching you where to find your gold mine. And when you find your real gold mine, your field of diamond, then you would realize that there's a currency that is higher than money. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to thank you very much. I want to say to you, if you're listening to me and what I'm saying is really vibrating with you and really resonating with you, and you would like to get more of this kind of teaching, I would encourage you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, to comment, to share, or to like this video. But before I leave you, I want to say to you, if you want to support this work, you can support this work on Patreon, or you can support this work by way of PayPal. Now I want to say to you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye, yes, the single eye message of self-realization, which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And my brother and my sisters, hadn't it been that light has opened within me, when that single eye awake within me, and I awake from the dream of life, after that great and mighty shaking, and I would have heard the unheard wind, and I ascend like a fiery being, burst my crown chakra and became invisible, became one with the wind, experienced the virgin birth, experienced the resurrection. Hadn't it been for that experience, I would not have been here bringing this message of emancipation to you. That's why I always say to you, my brother and my sisters, do not let anyone deceive you by telling you that the symbol of the single eye above the pyramid on the US dollar, that it is an evil and demonic sign. No, it's not true. It is symbol of the all-seeing eye of God in you, who is your imagination, for you would have an awakened imagination. It is the eye of the mystics, the eye of the seer, the eye of God. For you will go beyond humanity and discover your real identity to be your divinity. And that is why I always give you the symbol of the single eye with my hand above my crown chakra, saying to you that you will go beyond your crown chakra and come into the ninth power. And when you have the experience, that you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun, as in the S-U-N, parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun there is no life and there is no light, and without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made. And you are told in Psalm 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly the sun has never withhold any good thing from all of humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity. Therefore all your energy comes from the sun. And you're told that this sun or this energy would arise in you in Malachi 4, chapter 4 and verses 2, where you're told that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And truly the sun has risen in me with healing. And I'm bringing that healing to all of humanity by pointing each and everyone to look in order to discover that your real identity is your divinity, and to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire, and learn never to chase after money. Chase after wisdom, and money will chase after you. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.